we've all become vulnerable to the problem of addiction. Top three that we're seeing clinically are gaming, pornography, and gambling, and then now increasingly just digital media, digital content, including YouTube, social media. Those behaviors light up the same parts of the brain's reward pathway as drugs and alcohol do. The constant stream of information has the potential to prime that reward pathway to lead to pulses of dopamine at a near constant level, which is effectively changing our brains.
I feel like I would be remiss if I didn't ask for the people who are listening who do have small children in their lives, or maybe, teenagers, for example, where they're still in the household and they can still be, you still have a responsibility to manage them. How ought parents be thinking about this for their kids?
I think the first and most important thing is for parents to recognize that the digital medium is itself inherently addictive and so a potential drug. And just like we wouldn't be giving our child wine for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, we cannot expose very young children in an unfettered way to the internet. And so as long as we have some modicum of control over our kids, which is usually till about age 12, I think it's important that kids not actually have their own internet-connected devices, and that not just what they're doing online, but how much and how often should be regulated. And I think, although we don't have data yet on how much is too much, I certainly think for very young children, something like on the order of maybe an hour or two a week is appropriate, as well as actively as a family modeling the behavior that we want our kids to see. So many parents can justify their digital engagement because they say they're working, but how much of that is really necessary and how much of that is really a rationalization of an addictive behavior? So I think all of that is important because once kids get to be 12 or 13, they are off and running. And no matter what kinds of digital monitors we put in place, they will be able to outwit them. So if we don't establish a healthy baseline, which isn't to say we should give up monitoring, but by the time they're teenagers, it's all about the conversation. What is safe and appropriate online behavior? How do you feel when you're playing that video game versus when you stop it? What do you think is the impact on your brain? These are the conversations. How hard it is. So we do a lot in our family of like me talking about, oh, wow, I got to watching, YouTube, Dr. Pimple Popper. And like 3 hours later, I was still watching horrific cysts being, I'm just like, that's gross, right? I don't want to spend my life watching Dr. Pimple Popper, right? That's not how I want to say I, spent my time on this earth. And yet, there it was. So I think, kind of a collective humility in the face of the incredible potency of these devices as we come together. And then again, a really, really important to establishing these family times that are device free, whether it's the whole vacation or just a family dinner, but put the devices down.